boy Arlen at?
They have to win.
Never. Alright, so first off, before you start cutting hair, what you want to do is comb the hair out first. I'm basically laying the hair down. I know it's already laid, but I want to just basically give you guys the example of laying the hair down, putting everything in position before you start cutting. That way, you start off neat, the fade will end up neat. So right now, I'm gonna focus on debulking the bottom half. I got my one guard on with the lever open, and I'm just basically trying to keep this fade as low as possible. So I'm gonna start off with this one and blend down from here. Just to give you guys an idea on what my client wants, he basically wants to keep a lot of the bulk on top. So I'm not gonna cut into it that much. I'm basically blending into it. So by clearing out the bulk, it's going to be a lot easier to set in my bald line. I'm using my Babyliss Skeleton FX, setting my bald line as low as possible. The reason why I'm setting it as low as possible is because I don't have a lot of room to work with. He wants to keep a lot of that bulk on top. So the idea is to set it as low as possible. That way I have enough to work with as far as setting in my guidelines. Now that I have the bald line set in, I'm gonna go with my Endless Cordless Masters with the lever fully open, and I'm going up not even a ½ inch, just about half of what I set in with the one guard open to clear out that bulk. So I'm gonna go half of that, make sure I stay consistent all the way around, make sure I go over the guidelines multiple times so I make sure it's at that lever open length. So now, putting back on the one guard, I'm basically making sure that everything is at that one guard length and that everything is symmetrical. Everything flows the way I want it to flow. I don't want any guideline to be, you know, uneven. So right now I'm just working on kind of perfecting the guideline as much as possible. So from here, I'm not really worried too much about the bulk that's on top. I'm gonna blend everything back down. So with my zero guard, with the lever fully closed, in a flick out motion, I'm flicking out that middle line. Now, notice how I'm using my corners the entire time. This is a tight area, so you don't wanna use the full blade because you don't wanna take off more in one area that you didn't really, see or pay attention to. So make sure you take your time and use your corners. So this step right here is cool for beginners. This will give you a better idea on how to slowly take out this bottom line instead of just going with the lever closed. I like to go with my lever halfway to soften up that bottom line. That way it makes it easier for you to take it out with the lever closed. Now that the bottom line is softened up, you can easily take it out with the lever fully closed, using your corners at all times. Remember, take your time, use your corners. Don't rush this process because this process can be tedious, okay? So just make sure you take your time. The flick out motion, taking out those lines, is probably the longest part of fading. Now I'm gonna work on clipper over combing that bulk area. Now what you wanna do is set your comb at a 45-degree angle. You don't wanna set it at a 90-degree angle because you're gonna take off too much. All right, set it at a 45-degree angle and just take off a little bit at a time as you go, especially if you're a beginner, especially you're just getting your feet wet. You want to take off a little bit at a time, and remember, patience is key. Next, I'm gonna put on my 2 guard with the lever fully closed, and I'm just gonna blend right on into that bulk. This is just making sure that I detail my clipper over comb work and I don't leave any bulk areas too bulky. So after you place your guidelines in, you take all your guidelines out. Next step is detail work. Detail work is the most important part of the fade. It separates you from being just an average barber to a barber that, you know, actually cares about taking the fade to the next level. So what I like to do is I like to use the mirror. The mirror gives you a different perspective on the blend. Something that you just can't see dead on sometimes. Either that, or I like to rest my eyes, give my eyes a break from just seeing, you know, the blend. So I'll just, you know, use my corners and, you know, detail those areas where I see bulk. So my client didn't really want too much off the top, if anything off the top. He really wanted me to focus on blending in the sides to the top. So that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna wet the hair, make sure it's just a little bit damp so I can start working on those sides. Listen, let me tell you why they call me 360. When they sit in my chair, I spin them in a full 360, and they come out looking like,
damn, son,
we make it look easy.
YouTube, this is the cut. And if you like it, make sure you give it a thumbs up. If you're new to my channel, please hit that subscribe button. Also, HustleDreamProduction, that's my brother. He does all my beats. His YouTube channel will be linked in the description below. Make sure you guys go give him a follow. Also, if you want to know where you can find any tools that you've seen in this video, links will be in the description below. Otherwise, you guys can follow me on Instagram and TikTok. My TikTok is official360Jeezy and my Instagram is 360Jeezy. But it's your boy 360Jeezy, and I'm out of here.